Alright, what's going on, chat? A little bit of a later start, sorry about that. But I was doing some stuff today, and time quickly got away from me. I had to run around and do some errands, and we filmed the battle report, yada yada yada. But alas, we must do some fly tying as it is Friday night. Oh, my back is shot. Whew. Hey, Big Bobzilla, what's going on? Could use a warm ocean breeze right about now. Yeah. It's not like terrible, you know, it's because, what was it, a couple weeks ago? It was like literally -4, -7 degrees with the wind chill. It was like 10 degrees every day. So now it's like in the 20s or like 30s. So it hasn't been terrible, but man, yeah, it's been pretty cold. That 10 degree weather though was like brutal. I hope we don't go back to that because that was bone chillingly cold for sure. Oh, I missed. Hold on, I gotta grab one thing real quick. Give me a second, chat. My other material thing. Okay. So real quick, I guess we should. You're gonna hear a noise. Beep boop, beep boop. That was me. We had a request. Oops, sorry about that. We had a request for a fly, which we need to see. View channel. And here, deactivate, reactivate. Let's go to post. I think it was Gene. Here we go. Adachi Clouser. Steve Adachi is credited with friends for this version of the Clouser. So I think this is what we're gonna look. Okay. Now this is on a jig hook. So I don't necessarily have any jig hooks, but I could take a look and see. Yo, Jim, what's going on, man? Sorry I missed you there. How do you like the Regal? I'm generally looking at one, squirreling a few pennies away. It's fantastic. It's great. I have the Revolution, but you could always get the non-Revolution model, but I really love it. Now, they built this vise for me for free, so I kind of... it's hard for me to say anything negative about it. But the only downside is my hands sweat a lot. So I get a little, like, almost like rusting that happens here, but I live right next to the bay. But what I do is you got to take a little just like gun cleaning lubricant, and I just clean the vise from time to time. Nobody else will have this issue. My hands sweat like crazy. Same thing with my guitar strings. My guitar strings like don't last more than like you know, a week at most, and it's a mix between the humidity and my hands. And that's, you'll see it right here. It's just because my hands sweat all the time. It's really the only issues I ever had, and that's just more so for me. And I just clean it off with some like gun cleaning lubricant. Yo, what's going on, Aquarium? How's it going? This guy's looking pretty neat. I just cleaned up recently, but I love the Regals. The Regals are fantastic. I think it's the greatest vise that they make. I mean, there's other great vices out there. Just the fact you can go like, boop. For me, commercially tying, it's so good. And once you get a hook in there, it will never come out. It will never come out. Yeah, you can hold all sorts of different hooks. You'll honestly break the hook before you like it moves in the vise. The hook will literally break or bend. It's they call it the bulldog bite for a reason. And there's a reason. They've been around for so long. There's a reason people have Regals from like 20, 30 years ago that still use them. And this design is very popular. Like, it's been around for a very long time, so there's a lot of tradition in this vise. Yo, Zeke, what's going on? Camel Eggs, what's up? Yo, Jay, how's it going? I fished my pond today. I caught a 10-pound catfish on a honey bun with a hair rig. The rig Europeans use for carp. Interesting. But what the hell's a honey bun? Are you talking about an actual honey bun? If I buy a new strain every week, I would switch from guitar to digital piano. So anyways, we got to tie one of these. So it looks like synthetics. Preferably, we could probably just use some Steve Farrar fiber-esque material. And it's more so white chartreuse with some like bluish colors. From what I see, at least. Yep, and it looks like we're possibly just V-tying material. I don't know this material, or I don't know this fly, so we're just going to figure it out as we go. I'm assuming this is the creator here. Not familiar with him. I'll have to check him out. And yeah, we'll give it a go. So this is kind of really what so you can make them somewhat larger too, but you got to think about the how it's going to swim, right? So I don't have any jig hooks as well, but that's okay. Okay. Like an actual honey bun. Yeah, from a gas station. I like how you said from a gas station, because that's really the only place that they sell those damn things. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was trying to see if there's any carp left alive in my pond. As far as you know, there's not. I have a question. How do you determine what thread to use? You think we would use mono for everything? Mono's great, but it's not as strong as other materials. It really comes down to personal preference. Some people will use mono for everything. Some people will use flat wax nylon like I do from Danville. Some people will use other threads. Some of them are stronger than others. Some of them are thinner than others. For instance, the mono maybe is a little bit thinner than this, or certain threads are maybe thicker or thinner, so the thread may build up more, so maybe you don't like that. The reason why I like the 210 denier flat wax nylon from Danville is because it's extremely strong, and it's got the wax coating on it, so it cinches down on itself very good. And the other thing is it doesn't break very easily. You'll see me, I break the thread a lot more with this because I always try and put maximum pressure. I try to go wrap just to the point to where it's going to break with my thread. And what do you call it? So it's for different applications and different things. You could tie a hollow fly with a mono or this thread. It doesn't really matter. A lot of it comes down to personal preference, and there is application. Some threads, mono doesn't work well for like spinning deer hair, for instance, right? You want to use something like a, I'm trying to find some hooks we can use here, so give me a sec. You want to use a stronger thread at that point. Okay, so I know I got some like heavy eyes. I don't know if I have any. I don't know where half the stuff is. So if I'm going to do a video on this, I need to get some jig hooks. For sure. I know I do have some larger dumbbell eyes, but I don't know where. Let me see. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any jig hooks, saltwater jig hooks that are large enough. Let me see. Oh, I do have these. We could tie a smaller one. Maybe that's what we do. We scale it down. And ideally what you would do is, you know, if I'm going to do a video on this, I'll probably get larger hooks. So that's what we'll do. I have size 1 jig hooks. Ideally, I'd probably use like a size 2/0 or a 3/0 or something for this in particular. But we could tie like a smaller version. But yeah, the thread really just comes down to like personal preference. There is certain applications, but you could try different threads and see what you like. If you're a newer tire, certain threads will build up quicker, but maybe they're stronger or something. But I'd say the biggest thing when it comes to newer tires is just learning how to have thread control, and also try not to build up too much thread is one of the most important things. Trying to get a neat head, trying to get neat thread wraps, for instance. Okay, we are going to put some dumbbell eyes on here. So ideally this fly would be much larger, because it is the sort of fly you could fish like that. I don't know if it's necessarily designed to be fished. Well, they do salmon-sized 2s. But certainly like a 2-aught, 3-aught, even like a 4-aught you could tie this in, I want to say. And we're going to go with some dumbbell eyes here. So I think these should work. That should work. You need something heavy enough with, you know, like the sort of the amount of material we're going to be putting on here and all that jazz. Let's just move that there. Okay. Let's tie in a dumbbell eye. So how's everyone been? Has everyone been good? Keeping it real? Do we want to go with one smaller size? I do have one. Or I have these, I guess. No, but it's fine. Ideally, like again, I would tie a slightly larger hook, but cabin fever's hitting hard. Googly eyes. What happened to my focus? Oh, here we go. Damn googly eyes, eh? So I gotta get some jig hooks, I guess. If we're gonna film this, so I don't know if we're gonna film it right away, but next time I order from saltwaterflies.com, I'll get a pack of jig hooks for this. Okay. Now again, I don't know how to tie this fly. We're just doing it. I'm gonna guess we're V-tying. You don't need much. We probably have something going off the tail. There was a photo that showed... Where was it? Here. This really doesn't show that much, huh? There we go. That looks kind of interesting. So it's got like a flash tail, it looks like. Flash tail, and then it's V-ties, it looks like. Trying to figure out my next fly to tie. Any suggestions? We're trying out the Adachi Clouser. But we have the new video that just came out a couple days ago. Is the Alan Caleos or Kealos Diablo crab fly, sweet fly. All right, so we're gonna need some Supreme or some Slinky fiber. Let me grab that. God, I still gotta put everything away. We were filming a battle report earlier. That's why I got started a little late. And my room is... I still have to put everything away after the stream. I'm not looking forward to it. Alright. Wow, I'm going to have to re-up on the Slinky fiber here soon and all that jazz. From the looks of it. I'm running low. Now... Okay, there's different colors we can do. Let me look and see. I'm trying to see what sort of... Slinky fiber I have and SF blends we can use. I have gray. Dude, I had way more slinky. Like, what's up? Did we do something with it? Where the hell could it be? Am I tripping, or did we just use it all? We might have used most of it. But I feel like, no, I had blue slinky fiber. Where's all this stuff? Ah, here it is. Yeah, I was tripping. I've tied those with Magnum Flash and SF blend. They cast great and don't foul. I think I did mine on a 3-aught. Very nice. Yeah, if I had bigger jig hooks, that's totally what I would do. I'm gonna use regular Flash. Well, actually, you know what? I got Magnum. I have silver Magnum. So we could use silver, even though it's like mostly like a pearl Flash tail. I'll use silver. I don't care. It's fine with me. Let me back this up a little. How's it going, Saban? How you doing? Yeah, I've tied various synthetic Clousers, or like half and halves over the years, or stuff like this, where you essentially tie like almost like a pseudo slammer on a half and half. Never tied a specific pattern though. Like if you're gonna do a flash tail, tie a flash tail. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't half-assing the flash tail. So let's see. This is a size 1 hook. We really don't want it to be that big. Something like this. And have the fly kind of be like that length. I could have went a little bit longer. Again, this is, I think you would ideally tie this on a larger. Well, I guess it could have gone much longer. We can always tie another one. Kind of testing it out. This is a somewhat smaller hook though, right? And I shouldn't go like too long. Gotta find the right balance. Good, working on some hollows and rat flies. Ooh, interesting. What's a rat fly? Sounds familiar. Where should I order some thread from? You have a code for any sites? I ordered like 10-pack of squimpish hair using your code. I love that, Mitsuo. First off, I love hearing that. That's great. I get all my material from saltwaterflies.com. That's not like squimpish from squimpish hair, because they don't have squimpish. So saltwaterflies.com in Massachusetts. And Chris has been selling material online since the late 90s, or since like he started his business back in like 94 or 5. So I've literally been buying materials online from saltwaterflies.com since the late 90s, when it was like freaking Windows 98 or Windows 95. So that's who I recommend, because that's where I've been buying all my material for years. And I'll show you real quick. Saltwaterflies.com. Yeah, check it out, CBO. We got a ton of different videos on the channel if you're interested for different patterns. If not, try one of these Adachi Clousers. Now, the website's old because it literally almost looks the same since like the early 2000s. But that being said, the thread, where were my threads at? Is it on Patreon? Am I just stupid? Oh, here we go. Tie-in thread. So I use the Danville flat wax nylon right here. And then there's the monofilament is right here. He's temporarily out of stock. The other option is there's JS Fly Fishing. There's Lure Parts Online as well. Those are 2 websites you can use. This is mostly like lure making, but they have a decent amount of fly tying stuff at a good price. They won't have the same, like, you know, if you want better quality stuff, go to saltwaterflies.com when it comes to like materials and all that. That being said, you can get a decent amount of stuff from here. I've never bought thread from here, but let's just look and see what they have. So they have a good selection. A lot of this stuff will be freshwater thread. You're going to have to find the right denier or the right thickness. Like some threads go by 6-aught, 3-aught, 4-aught. Some threads go by denier, right? All I know is like I usually use 210 denier. I don't know what that relates to in whether it's... So it looks like the higher the number, it's probably the thinner the thread, right? Is that how that works? 12-aught Euro thread. So like a 6-aught is a thicker thread than a 12-aught. I believe that's how that works. Jan Netcraft as well. Jan Netcraft's pretty good. So maybe like uni thread 6-aught you could use for saltwater, right? Or the big fly. But this is what I use right here. Danville 210 denier Flatworks nylon. Great stuff. Saltwaterflies.com from there, wherever. So look, you're paying 9 more cents, you know, at saltwaterflies.com or something or whatever. So I think you're all right. You must have a great time with those stripers. Used to kill them in the Chesapeake Bay. Last I caught was 45 pounds. Yeah, unfortunately, the striper fishing's terrible nowadays, though. So they not only have not had good spawning results, but the management's been terrible. And so the population and the stocks are down. So it's not like the fishing in the 90s or 2000s when I grew up. The fishing was amazing. The fishing's still pretty good, but there's just like less striped bass overall than ever before. So, and they're spawning less. So the fishing has just not been, it's not been as good as it was in the past. What do you mean you haven't hit the like button? How dare you? Jesus. I know. Oh, thank you, Shinobi, for pointing that out. All right, I'll hit it. What's going on, Shinobi? How's it going? You can essentially see, I'm pretty certain this is how this fly is tied. If I'm not wrong. Because usually there gets to a point to where you can just kind of look at a fly and just look at a couple different photos and understand how it's put together. Which, by the way, it was funny. I was streaming some miniature painting and stuff the other night. If you guys watch on YouTube, my other channel, Mike Rolls Dice. If you guys do want to watch some more streams, because I've been trying to stream like once a week on that channel. Or if I'm doing like painting stuff, I'll stream. You can watch more streams. But I got a text from Alan Caleo, or Kealo. I guess my buddy Tim, South Fork Salt, gave him my number, but he was like, hey, thank you so much for the video, this, that, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude, thank you so much for reaching out. It's just so cool, like, you know, Henry Cowan, Alan Caleo or something, you know. It's cool being able to talk to these people that are like master fly tiers and fly fishers. But he liked the video, so that was cool. Very, very cool dude. I've seen a couple of his presentations in the past too for sight fishing. He's a nice dude. I've never talked to him though, so see, though, maybe we'll link up, do some fishing one day or something. This is supposed to be here. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the next pattern's going to be. I was thinking this, but if I need a jig hook, I might need to order it, so we might need to wait a little. I mean, we could tie one in this size. I have one more hook in a size 1-odd. We'll see how this comes out. Can anyone see my comments? Yes. What's going on, traveler? Sorry. I might have just missed you there before. But I see your comment there, good sir. How's it going over in Hawaii? I apologize. I fell asleep during that stream. Was exhausted. What do you mean, apologize? Don't worry about it. That's what streams are for, to fall asleep to. I've fallen asleep to Djibouti show streams many times over the years. So the main thing is we don't want to add too much C4R fiber. But this is like, you know, you kind of build it up, this profile for sure. This isn't like a profile that is kind of skimping. But we need to make sure we don't add too much material to this fly. And we also want to reduce the length as well. So I'm going to cut this down. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any codes for any businesses or anything like that for you guys to get any discounts on like thread and material. We just have Squimpish here, and again, I don't earn anything off that either, so. But maybe something in the future. We could try and work with somebody. Because really the whole idea is to get you folks a discount, just to make it easier for you to fly tie. Yeah, you're good. We see you there, brother. How's it going? How you been? Like, the fact that you folks can save just like 15% off with Squimpish is like fantastic. It gives them a little bit more business, and it gives you guys a discount. I get a little free material here and there, but it's more so just to help out a company that I like, so. And get you folks a discount, which is anything you can do nowadays to save a little bit of money on some fly time materials, we're all for. Yeah, so 3-aught and 6-aught are good saltwater threads, and that big fly thread works good too. And a 210 denier is around a 3-aught. Okay. Yeah, I've just never used other thread brands that much, so I know that they go by 2-aught, 3, or like the odds, like hook size odds, aughts, I think it's pronounced. Even though I always say odd or whatever. It's a 4-aught. Yeah, we could probably I kind of want to do this on a larger hook though for the video, but we could totally make this video with this hook size hook and everything. Again, I almost feel like I should have scaled down the amount of material. We can always do a little trimming. A larger hook in general will help. Just everything in terms of keeling the fly, everything. That's the most, see, it's something we don't think about, keeling a fly, because generally you don't have to, because the hook is generally heavy enough to naturally keel the fly. But when you don't have a hook that's heavy enough, that's when you need to start thinking about it. Now, we got the dumbbell eyes here and all that jazz, but you get what I'm saying. Something to think about quite a lot is making sure that the fly is going to turn over properly, all that. I think we do one here. I'm just going to guess we do. Maybe not. I'm just going to assume we do. And maybe now we do one up front. Because we're obviously not going to have material sticking off this, so. Maybe I was supposed to do another V-tie at the same time, but that's okay. Semperfly Nano Silk 300 denier is like the strongest thread I've ever used. I've heard a lot of people mention the Nano Silk from Semperfly. I've been looking for some nice salt flies. Thank you for the recommendation on the website. Oh yeah, of course. He's got a fantastic selection of flies as well if you want to buy flies. But I mean, like I said, I've been buying materials from Chris at Saltwater Flies for I can't even tell you how many years now. since I was like a child, and he's probably one of the first saltwater fly tying websites of all time, like ever. So I'm sure there may have been somebody else, but he's got to be like one of the longest, if not like the longest online fly tying websites in existence. Like I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing it. I think I'm supposed to just be doing this in front. Like this. Right? I don't think I'm supposed to go over the eye. I don't think that's going to look right if I do it. And is that it, or do we do another one? No, that's probably going to be it, right? So I probably could have actually, just to get that bump out of there in the front. Yeah, try this one out. It's called the Adachi Clouser. Someone recommended it. It's just like a synthetic clouser that kind of works its way up the hook shank with V-ties. Like, I've probably tied this fly before, or like tied flies like it. You know what I mean? Just not even, I don't even know about this other fly. But it makes sense, something you would try out. Because I've tied a bunch of different like synthetic half and halves or clousers over the years, stuff like that. Not to take away from whoever tied this, because this is a cool fly. Steve Adachi, I think his name is. We could add maybe, do I have a black? I do have some black. Let's go with a little black on top here. Very light amount. But this is, you know, stepping it up. You got the flash tail. It's kind of mixing like Dave Blanton style and like flash receiver style from Mark's Buddy. With some like, again, like Sadati style or like just generic, like, you know, large bunker fly. But on a clouser. Using that sort of technique with the V-ties or something. Again, I don't even know if this is how he ties it. I'm just looking at the photo and I'm just tying the fly. But I think this is how they tie it. That little sharp edge got me. Wasn't even pulling it that hard. I normally tie freshwater, but it's time to get a saltwater fly rod. Oh, 100%. Like, once you go salt, it's hard to go back. I'll tell you that much. I don't know where you're located. You don't have to get specific, but when it comes to the types of fish you'll be catching with saltwater. Like, striped bass and bluefish are so much fun, but, you know, there's so many different saltwater species you can fish for, and it really is, like, it's kind of hard to go back to just fishing, like, lakes and ponds or even trout at times when there's, like, if you go tarpon fishing, you know what I mean? Like, in Florida, well, there you go, you know, snook, tarpon, sea trout, redfish, sheep's head. I mean, there's just so many different things you can catch on the fly down there that people, like, obsess over their whole life to try and fly fish for. You're in a good spot. And then freshwater, you know, you got all your peacock bass. You got all that, I'm sure, handled. So you ain't trout fishing then if you're in Florida, so. Oh, yeah, you got to go saltwater fishing then. Because I could see, like, a trout dude, a trout fisher, maybe, like, not completely, you know, they're still, like, in love with the river fishing. Because there's, like, a certain romanticism to that, right? But, I mean, if you're trying to catch fish and you want the rod to bend, yeah. Like, peacock bass, largemouth, they're fun and all that, but hook a tarpon. And then tell me you want to go peacock bass fishing after. Or you want to go tarpon fishing again. Oh, that's the other thing. You got to worry about gators. Well, you got to worry about gators and fresh, but then you got bull sharks and salt. So maybe don't go wet wading at night with a fly rod. Whenever we were like wet wading all over St. Augustine, Florida, and like the whole time I was freaking out about sharks. Because like shallow water bull sharks are like, and if you're going to get attacked by something, let's be honest, it's going to be a bull shark. Like, you know what I mean? Unless you're swimming like off the coast of Egypt somewhere in the Red Sea, then it'll be a tiger. But there was in the back of my mind the whole time we were wet wading in Florida, and then we're like wading in this national park or something. We were wading in some sort of park and we were fly fishing, and it was like super super shallow, up to your like ankles, maybe up to your waist at times in the deepest. And we're like walking around, and like you can't see anything, but we're like walking, we're blind casting. Didn't catch anything the whole time or nothing, but it was like an adventure. And we're walking, and there must have been like little deep channels that were up to your waist or something that we'd have to cross every once in a while to go to the next oyster beds and whatever. And we walked for like miles through this bay. It was like, or through this creek. It was like a big creek or something. It was really cool. And out of nowhere, there's a pod of dolphins like right next to me in the waist deep water and it scared the crap out of me. I'll never forget. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, okay, if there's dolphins back there could easily be a freaking bull shark. What the hell are the dolphins doing all the way back here, dude? There's like the freaking muddy swamp water back here or something. It was a really cool spot. It was like a really sick estuary that we went to down in Florida and like walked through. But yeah, that being said, you know, I could see there is some Florida does have some they do have hazards, gators being one of them. It's something as a northerner it's easy to forget about. You could easily walk up to a pond. Blue trevally on the fly is the drug for me, nothing like it. Oh, then Traveler, you got to go in Discord and reply to Craggerroll. Let me pull it up. He's going on a trip somewhere. He was asking about blue trevally and yellow trevally or something. Here. I don't know what this is, but okay, from Shinobi. This looks cool, by the way. Talking about somebody was talking about, or Khan here is talking about getting engravings. Check out the new Mike Rolls Dice Battle Report if you haven't, or the Diablo Crab Fly. Here it is, though. Does anyone have experience fly fishing yellow spotted trevally or bluffing, which I'm assuming he meant bluefin trevally or something, but maybe not. But go give some help to Craggerroll and post some of your favorite trevally flies if you could, Traveler, because he travels all around the world for like a government job or something, I think. So he goes to like Africa, India. He's been to so many different places. But from just seeing Paul Yun, Fishing with Paul Yun, which is an old Scottish TV show, he went with Trey Combs and somebody else on an offshore trip out in the Pacific somewhere to some islands. I forgot where it is. And yeah, no rush. Just I figure if you got any advice for him, give him any advice for the trevally flies. You don't even have to post photos. More so, just tell him what sort of flies. Like, do they like flash? Do they not? You know. But Paul Yun in the show, he went with like Trey Combs and a bunch of people, and they were like fly fishing off this boat, this giant boat out in the ocean for like tuna and all this. And then they would go inshore to these like remote islands, and it was like this like expedition fly fishing trip you could take on this, like, you know, it's probably like $20,000 or something. But he went with them, and they were catching these bluefin or these blue trevally in the surf of these like remote islands, and they were the like coolest looking trevally. And they fought like hell, of course, too. Not like GT sizes, of course, but I think trevally are, you know, a trevally is a trevally. So GTs are just massive and way more aggressive. But I think they were using like mostly just like random offshore flies. Like, I don't know if you remember growing up in the 90s, there was a couple, and I forgot their name, a husband and wife, and the Who flies or something. I forgot what it was called, but they were like these very flashy offshore flies that they were selling. Mark Sadati knows them. They're in one of my book. I'll pull it up. But it was like all these like flashy streamers that they would sell specifically. And they were like, they had offshore versions and all that. So I think they were using stuff like that. Just like generic streamer flies from like the late 90s. You know what I mean? But, because I forgot the name of that couple. Beck, is it Kathy or something? Is it Beck is their names? Oh, I'll grab the book. We can look it up right now. Oh, is it Howe? Is it Bill and Kate Howe? I think it's Bill and Kate Howe. I think it's Bill and Kate Howe. Which, by the way, look at the names on here, okay? Chris Windrum, Verka, Skoke, Sieglers, Sadati, Mickelson, Abel, Blados, Blanton, Borski, Catherwood, Gartside. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Bill and Kate. Yeah, Howe, yeah. I'll show you their flies real quick. There's a very specific look of flies, and I remember these being sold in Cabela's in the magazines. Like, you don't see these flies really nowadays. Did we pass them? Where are they? 88. Yeah, Bill and Kate Howe. I'm pretty certain this is who I'm talking about right here. And they're well known for these flies. They were very flashy flies, as you'll see, and like they were all synthetics. So this was early in like this was like, you know, early on in saltwater fly tying, in the like saltwater fly tying revolution, right? So this was before we had Steve Farrar fiber and all that. So to tie really big flies like this, you had to use stuff like ultra hair. This is like the sort of stuff Popovich was doing as well. What were they using? Crinkle nylon, super hair, that sort of stuff. Yep, ultra hair. But you can see here these like flashy. This is what I'm talking about right here. I think this is like the sort of stuff they were using for those trevallies, like sort of flashy flies. But I remember seeing these being sold, I think, in like Cabela's and stuff like that. They always seemed way flashier in Cabela's, though, like what they were doing. Ah, no! I ripped that. Damn it. The problem with these really nice hardcover books is the covers rip on them over time. I just like ripped the backside of that cover. Damn it. I have to tape it or something. These books are like, you can't even find half these books anymore. They're like hundreds of dollars nowadays. Ugh. All right. But yeah, this came out pretty good. I wish I had some Pearl Magnum flash boot, but I think that works. Now, I think I could maybe scale it down a little. I think the dumbbell eyes are heavy enough for it to turn over properly, because you do want like a certain profile. But I feel like maybe we could thin it down ever slightly. But I mean, that's pretty much it. You can see this fly is like pretty simple. But generally good flies are fairly simple. You know what I mean? But it's essentially just a flash tail and then V-tying your way up the hook shank and slowly making the material shorter. So I actually started out in fresh when I was young and started I started out in salt when I was young and started fresh about 3 years ago. Have to watch out for things that want to hunt people too. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yo, what's going on, Jin? How's it going, dude? How you doing? And Doc, how you been, dude? Dad life as well. How about all this Salt Bay ice? Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, we got the whole bay is frozen over by my house. And not just the creek, like the entire bay, like by my house is frozen. Probably not by the inlet, but I wouldn't be surprised if like the majority of my bay, and it's a very large saltwater bay that's connected to the ocean here. I bet you like the majority of it's frozen right now, completely frozen, which is crazy. But yeah. All right, well, I only have one more of these jig hooks. And you know what? We may honestly just do the video with this style hook, so I'll save it. Yeah, what do you think? I think I just probably go a little less material in the version I tie for, what do you call it? Because the size hook. Little less material for the belly in particular, I think. And then we'll kind of be right on point there. Hey, Chris, thanks for the sub on YouTube. Appreciate that. I'm assuming that's what that was. All right, so I'll save that. We can do a video on that. It doesn't have to be a size 2-aught. We can use the size 1 Eagle Claw. That works. I think I just skinny down the material, like the amount I'm using. We should be good. Guess we could tie another one. You just inspired me to do more salt. Good. I'm glad. That's my goal. Is to inspire people to want to go out and catch big fish on the fly in saltwater, because it's kind of hard to beat that. This is one of the old Mustad C70 SDs. They don't even sell them anymore, or they don't make them. We're breaking one out. It's like a fine wine. By the way, this is like the best hook Mustad ever made. I don't know why they changed it to the slick finish nowadays and the thinner hook. They ruined them. But they should have consulted me first. You know what I mean? I don't know why they didn't. But not even joking. This was the greatest hook they've ever made, Mustad, for fly fishing. Ever. I mean, that's hard to say. The 0007s, the 34007s have been around for so long, and they still are such a good fly hook. But this right here, dude, I'm telling you, I'm pretty certain it's like the same hook, same size and everything. They changed it to a thinner hook. This might even be one size larger. Like this might be a 1-aught and this is a 2-aught. But they changed it to a thinner hook overall. So the hook weighs less. So now you have less of a natural keel to your fly to turn over the fly properly. And they went with a thinner hook. So yeah, I think this is a 2-aught and this is a 1-aught. But you can see the 1-aught's almost as thick as the 2-aught now. But these, I don't know, they're just, this hook never rusted. It would just corrode a little bit, if anything. I don't like these finishes. These dark finishes on new hooks, they rust a lot easier. If you cut this fly off and it has a loop knot and you leave it, the hook eye is gonna rust so much quicker than this, and it'll happen to both. But you know, if you're lazy like me, it happens so much more. And yeah, I don't know. The weight of the hook and everything was so good on this. I don't know why they changed it. They were like, you know what? We got to be like Arex. We got to make them chemical finish, you know, and slick, and we got to do this and that. But they ruined them. I don't even want to use these anymore, to be honest with you. I think I'm just switching over to Gamakatsu SL12s from now on. So, good job, Mustad. You ruined the Mustad C70 SDs. They're not even that bad in their current state. This was the greatest fly hook ever created for saltwater fly tying. The only downside is they didn't make it larger than a 3-aught. If this went up to a 10-aught, I would have never bought anything else. I had customers catch 30, 40, 50-pound giant trevally on the 3-aught version of this hook. It's such a good hook. But, you know, why would you know, there is a saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they had to fix it, and in my opinion, they ruined this hook. It's not a bad hook. You can still use it. I still use it for if I need to. You know, it's not like it's a terrible hook, but it's just like you took like a perfect, absolutely perfect fresh saltwater fly hook and then made it worse. So that's what, at least in my opinion, that's what they did. We'll see if we can tie one of these without the jig hook as well. Anyway, sorry, it's like quiet now without the music. But they really, you know, I've talked to so many people too. Why they changed it, I don't know, dude. They like legitimately ruined the hook. It was like the greatest fly hook of all time. I've talked to guides, I've talked to other professional fly tiers. How about the 254? 254 is great. It's a good hook. But I'm talking about the Mustad C70 SD, the greatest hook of all time. And they're different hooks. A big game hook is different than the Eagle Claws, right? Probably changed manufacturers. It could have been that, you know, or something. But I generally think they wanted to update it to the new like slick finish, because this is like what everyone's doing nowadays. They probably know that your hooks are gonna rust faster, so you have to buy more, you know. Okay. This is a little bit larger. Let's see if we can tie a larger one. How long have I been tying? Since like 1998 or something. Something like that. What colors do I have? I got that. I got that. Yeah, we'll use silver again. Screw it. Or the steel wire got too expensive. There's probably multiple reasons. Yeah, I'm sure there's multiple reasons. I like to think that they're like, the hooks are gonna rust faster. I like to think Mustad hates the fly tires. They're like, I guess we gotta sell these fly tying hooks. I really don't want to, but I guess we will. Might as well make them rust. Be a real man. Put some bait on that hook. You know, actually catch something. Well, we're never getting a Mustad sponsorship. You know how many Mustad hooks I've probably sold over the years, bro? I should be getting free Mustads for life at this point. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know if I want them now. Gamakatsu, hit me up. Fly me out to Japan. We'll drink sake. Work on the business deals. First off, Gamakatsus are just better than the Mustads. Even the old C70s, they're just better hooks. And they are well worth the price. I have guides specifically requested Gamakatsus over every other hook. But they're way more expensive. So it was worth spending less money and having almost as good of a hook in the Mustad, but not as good of a hook. If you wanted the best, you would still use the Gamakatsu. But the price difference between a box of 50 Mustads was like $12 versus 100 box of Gamakatsus was like $80. So you're spending like, it's like 2 times the price or whatever. You know what I mean? So it was, I mean, the hooks were good enough to where I'd rather spend less money, and the hooks performed perfectly fine. They weren't like, Gamakatsus are still better hooks, I think, in general, but it wasn't worth the much money more, especially if I was tying flies for myself. If it's a guide, that's what they want, that's what they'll get, right? I'll tie whatever you want. Is it tin? It might be tin. I think it's a tin finish. Yeah, the tin plated. But the hook is thick enough to where it has enough wire in the weight, or it has enough weight in the wire that it naturally keels flies very well. And it's an extremely strong hook. Like, an extremely strong. Like, when it comes to the giant trevally flies for saltwaterflies.com, we only use the SL12Ss. And I just talked to a guide who all he does is bonefish and tarpon guide out in, what's it called? Christmas Islands, and it's the same thing. Gamakatsu SL12Ss. They've also been around forever. I mean, you can use Arexes and other hooks, but there's, I mean, you know, if you've been doing this a long time, there's a reason why we all use Gamakatsu SL12Ss for these things. You can use Owner Akai's, stuff like that, and as well for like offshore. But when it comes to your like standard inshore fly fishing hook and you're not fishing for like freaking marlin, the Gamakatsu SL12S is where it's at. Maybe you want to use something slightly different for tarpon, and that's because of the more so the hook shape as opposed to the type of hook. For instance. And it's not a very long hook, so you're going to struggle if you're trying to tie very big stuff. But the milkfish do seem cool. Yeah, you know how like, so I went fly fishing in Florida with a guide for redfish, and he's like, let's go out and look for sheep's head. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, or triple tail or something. He wanted to catch triple tail or something on a fly. And I was like, I came here to catch redfish. I did not come here. But he's like, no, we got to look for these things. He was like obsessed with these, I think the triple tails or the sheep's head or something he wanted to catch on the fly. He was really like looking for floating debris outside the inlet. That's like the sort of thing where I think the guides down there are probably obsessed with like the milkfish. you know. Meanwhile, everybody wants a giant trevally fish, and the guides are like, man, look at those milkfish rolling. We should go fish for those things. You know what I mean? I bet you it's that sort of thing where that's like the real thing. Or like the people who are serious down there, they want to go for the milkfish. Because it's just like such a wild fishery, and it's probably... It also seems like it's hard to do. Like, unless you're fishing the algae fly, we found out. You've been liking the Arexes? I do like the Arexes. I just don't like the finish. I do like the Arex Blue Waters. They are good hooks. I just wish they made a traditional, like, tin-coated or a stainless steel version or something. Because I'm old school, I just don't like the dark finish. If I'm going to go dark finish, I'll use, like, a freaking Gamakatsu bait hook. You know what I mean? Because it really does seem like those hooks rust much quicker than the tin-plated ones. I feel like they're like freshwater hooks. But maybe it's all just placebo effect. I don't know. We should do a test. You know, if I really want the hook manufacturers to hate me, I should just buy... We should get one of each, like, flagship hook from each manufacturer. And just go, like, throw it in the bay and just see what happens. Or get them, like, soaking wet in the bay. And then take them and throw them in a bag soaking wet with salt water. And throw it on my dashboard and see what happens to the hooks. You're not a fan of it either? Yeah, I don't know if we're just old school. But I never was a fan of those, like, chemical finished hooks. For saltwater fishing, at least. Like, again, if you're bait fishing and you're constantly changing hooks and stuff like that, or they're rusting anyway, you don't care, it's like one thing. But for a fly hook, I don't like them. But if you know, you rinse them off properly and everything, they're fine. I'm just lazy, so. We're gonna take this, fold this, V-tie, bada bing, bada boom. Again, I do like the hook models Arex makes. And they're not bad. I'll use them. The blue water's great. I'll use it. I use them for those jungle slammers that you saw in the synthetic video that I tied for my buddy going down for peacock bass. They're a good hook. And I know Max from Predator Prey, that's like all he uses is Arex, so they're great, fantastic hooks. I just really am old school. I like the classic finishes. I don't like the modern finishes they put on hooks. I think like the whole thing's supposed to be like super sharp, like you never need to sharpen it, right? Isn't that like these chemically sharpened style hooks? Because I don't think you can even, it's much harder to sharpen like an Arex style, or like, you know, the old Gamakatsu octopus hooks with the chemical finishes. I feel like it's much harder to sharpen a chemical finish hook than one of these like tin-plated hooks. No? Didn't we talk about this last time or something? I only tie Mustad Oshanise hooks. They are good. But now, because of you, I'm trying the Aki. Seems good so far. I've caught a few. Well, the Akis are also like, they have a chemical finish on them, but the Owner Akais are... It's a very popular thing in Japan, right? That chemical finish thing, that's where it really comes from, is the like Gamakatsu, like the octopus hooks. They were using those sort of chemical finishes a lot, the super slick, sharp. I think the Owner Akais also use something similar, but the Owner Akai is literally like one of the strongest fly hooks you could ever use. It's if you're fishing for like 200-300 pound tuna and you're fishing for marlin, you're going to use like an Owner Akai hook. They're like not a regular hook. They're like super, super hardcore hooks. So for something like that, it's totally fine. But for your everyday bozo fly, you know, I like a more traditional setup. But yeah, the Akais are crazy. Or they're Akis. I don't know how you pronounce it. Owner Akai, Owner Aki. I think it's Owner Aki, and I've called them Akai this whole time. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is Aki. I don't know. I think somebody corrected me once. But all I know is if you're like fishing for like freaking 1,000-pound swordfish or something, you're going to use an Owner Akai. Those hooks are like crazy serious. They're almost like overboard for a lot of the stuff we do inshore. They're like almost too big and too thick and heavy and stuff. But hey, you're fishing for like GTs and stuff, so like you know what I mean? You got some pretty serious fish species down there in Hawaii, so it's a great hook. And you can use them for striped bass and all that, of course, too. You don't have to use them for marlin. I'm just saying, if you need to go marlin fishing, that's the sort of hook you're going to use. The Owner Akai. Fantastic hook. Aki is how I say it. You're probably saying it right. Aki. Yeah, it's probably not Akai, because it would probably be spelled different, like Kai or something, right? But so it probably is Aki. But I've also convinced myself it was pronounced the other way ever since I was a kid, so I've been saying it that way. So it's gonna be very hard for me to correct that. So I'll probably just keep calling it Owner Aki until like the owners of Owner Hooks reach out one day and like sue me for calling it the wrong name over and over. Oh, look, we had Alan Kaleo call us recently. Maybe Owner Hooks will call. Hey, by the way, Mike, we love how you're mispronouncing our hook names. So. No, I'm very lucky I have these awesome fly tires that end up reaching out. Thanks to some of you folks like Zeke or South Fork Salt. But what I'm really waiting for is, where are these damn hook companies reaching out? And Solarez, hit me up, dog. I want free 55-gallon drums of UV resin. We talked about this. I don't know why they haven't shipped it yet. Probably because no one's actually heard me say it because they don't watch my stream. But, like, come on, dog. Where's my 55-gallon drums? Hook me up. I don't want to ever have to buy Solarez ever again. I feel like I've sold enough Solarez over the years. I should just get a lifetime supply of it by now. I just wish I could buy... Yeah, they are very expensive. Even here on the mainland, Traveler. The Akis are very expensive hooks. It's like you get a couple in a pack and it's like $10 or something. Especially in the larger sizes that we're looking for. You might be able to get larger packs, but I don't know. I don't think there is available online like 100-pack of Owners. At least with those hooks. I think they only sell them in small packs. Unless like you're probably like working with an Owner hook rep or something and you're like a... You know, you can buy direct from them or something. I don't know. Even then, I don't know if they I've only seen it packaged in smaller amounts. They're smart. They cut out they're selling it. Instead of like cartels shipping kilos, they're sending freaking 20 bags over of Owner Akis. Do certain patterns require a certain weight of hook, like, say, flatwings? Yes, of course, Calvin. So, like, the 254 or 253 Eagle Claws or whatever, right? One of the reasons why Kenny Abrams liked using those hooks over different saltwater hooks is that they were very light. They were heavy enough to keel a flatwing because there's barely any material on a flatwing. But they were light enough to where the fly wouldn't sink faster than the leader and floating line, you know, how we wanted it. So, like, the fly had somewhat of a neutral density. It still sunk, right? It's not like it just floated there. But it didn't, like, go straight to the bottom. If we used a giant O'Shaughnessy hook from Mustad as opposed to the Eagle Claw in the same size, there might be double the weight in the hook. So that hook, it may cause that fly to sink faster. Now, here's the thing, though. That may be not a bad thing. You know, maybe you want a particular flatwing that's a little bit heavier. But traditionally, overall, that is the reason why they use the Eagle Claw 254 or 253, one or the other, I forget it, is because that particular hook pattern had a really good weight for flatwings. And they even mentioned in Striper Moon, things like that, is that between the tin plated one, the steel plated one, there was like all these different finishes. There was like nickel, tin. The hooks had different like weight to them, it seemed like, or they would like some would sink quicker than others, some were stronger than others. So he mentions it, he talks about it. But if you take the same flat weight, you tie it on a big game hook, an Eagle Claw 253, and then you tie it on something like a Arex blue water hook, what you're going to find is the 253 or 254 is probably the lightest. This is probably in between, and the owner's probably the Arex is probably the heaviest. So the Arex one will sink the fastest. This one will sink somewhere in between, and the 253 will have the slowest sinking. But they can all be used for different applications, right? But that is something to always think about, is you could take the same hook, same fly, tie it on what you would think is relatively the same style of hook between two different manufacturers. Or, you know, similar size at least, both 2-aught saltwater hooks, but they could be vastly different in their weight, and that'll greatly change how the fly swims, of course. It is a good point to bring out, to bring up for sure. But that is one of the benefits too of, like, you know, reading Kenny Abrams' books. He does a good job of explaining why they chose certain hooks and stuff like that to use. Now let's see if we can stick some eyes in here. I don't know what size this is or something, so we're just gonna find some, I guess, that are the right size that will work. Let's see if we can find... Oh, these are 3D eyes. Will these fit in there? Oh, they might. Kind of cool. I'd like to get like the perfect size, but I don't know if we will. These actually look like they're the exact size. Let's see, maybe a little super glue. Probably gonna want something like liquid fusion on top, right? Yeah, I'm pretty certain these are like the exact size of this dumbbell eye. Could be wrong. They might be like slightly larger. I can't tell. I think it's sitting perfectly in there though. Really squeeze that in there. Man, maybe it's like slightly just larger. I can't tell. I think it's like perfectly sitting in there. Yeah, maybe it is like the exact size we needed. It's like the exact size. It's like fitting perfectly because you can see the rim all the way around it. That was convenient. I will say though, on this particular fly, this Adachi Clouser thing, I bet you the jig hook makes a huge difference, because what you find is you're like changing the pendulum point of where you're stripping the fly from. So it will have a much more exaggerated up and down, as opposed to if you were just stripping this. It would have the up and down from the weight, right? Because you figure you're not in the water, you're above the water for the most part. Or your fly line with sinking line is always going to be lower than you, where your rod point is. So the fly is naturally going to come up when you strip it because of the weight, and then it'll sink back down. With the jig hook, it is just much more exaggerated. Like the focal point of where the tension is up higher. So the fly will just naturally come up higher, you know what I mean? When it comes to a jig hook. That's why I choose the O'Shaughnessy's, because they keel very well. Yep, and for the flies that you tie, Traveler, that's fantastic, right? Because you're tying them nice and full. You're tying the flash and the synthetics mixed with the naturals, which is completely different than like Abrams, right? Because Kenny Abrams was tying his flat wings to where there's like 3 whispers of bucktail, which is like 15 total hairs, and then a flat wing hackle. You know what I mean? He didn't need that hook. But for the flies that like a fly like this, or flies you're tying with like more modern day materials like synthetics, and you're building up profiles, yep, that is where you exactly need a heavy keel on a hook, something like a big O'Shaughnessy. And the big O'Shaughnessy's are just large hooks. They're like, you know, a longer shank. They're heavy wire. A lot of them, you might not even be using fly ones. Like I have non-fly O'Shaughnessy Mustads here. This is just 34007 SS's. It doesn't say it's a fly hook, right? It's just a classic sport hook. But these hooks are fantastic, and they're heavy. So they also use, because they can be used for regular fishing. So that being said, they're strong, they're heavy, and they naturally keel the flies very well because of it. You know what I mean? For sure. Damn, we got started late today. I apologize, folks. We, what do you call it? I had to run out. I was doing a bunch of stuff, and then we actually ended up filming the next game for Mike Rolls Dice, the battle report, but it ended up just going later than we thought it would. We probably should have just filmed it tomorrow, but that's right. It ended up working out, and we're streaming. That being said, my back is shot. All right, let's see. The Adachi Clouser. I like it. What do you think? What do you think, chat? I think I could film this. I don't need to order a large jig hook. I think we'll just tie it like this and just slim down the material a little. Good old O'Shaughnessy, a hook invented in Limerick, Ireland, originally for salmon. Yes. And I believe the guy's name was O'Shaughnessy, right? I don't know his first name, but I'm assuming it was named after the creator's last name of the hook. But I think I remember hearing that it was for salmon. It makes sense that it's Irish from the last name. But I wasn't 100% certain. So, but I think I feel like I've read that somewhere in the past. So it's cool hearing it from you. Maybe you did say it. It was. Yo, what's going on, Raph? How's it going? All right, chat. Let's take a quick little break. And when I come back, we'll tie another fly or two. It is getting late here, but we got to stream longer than an hour and 17 minutes. What do you call it? I'm probably not streaming for 3 hours tonight, though, because by the time we'll be done, it'll be fucking 11 o'clock at night. But how about that? We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll tie a couple more flies, probably using some synthetics. And yeah, this more than likely might be the next pattern that we have on the channel. But there might be a couple other patterns I'm looking at as well. And there's a good chance I gotta work on it, but there's a good chance we may end up doing. We may have like some guests on the channel here. I would like to try and get Henry Cowan. I still got to call him at some point. I've just been so busy. But when I have some free time, I might try and get some different folks on the channel or something like that. So, but yeah, so we'll see what the deal is. I have to figure out, though. There's a couple different patterns I want to cover, different flies. And then there are some topic videos that I want to do, but those always take a while. So I got to start working on the next topic video, probably like fly tying series or maybe a striped bass series video. I don't know. We'll see. I like those jig clousers. Seems like the twitching action will be enhanced. Yeah, you just get a way more exaggerated jigging motion with the jig hooks. You know what I mean? For sure. All right, chat, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll play the Abby highlight, and I'm just going to stretch my back out real quick because it's killing me, and we'll tie a couple more flies when I get back. Damn it, Jerry. We didn't have any sound because I shut the sound off because I got copy striked in my... Hold on, real quick. We got to turn the sound back on for this. Give me one sec. What the hell's the name of this media source? Here we go. Okay, that's just for next time. I did my miniature. Sorry about that, chat. You didn't have any sound for that highlight. I did my miniature painting stream and I played that and I got copy striked because I don't technically pay for that music on my other YouTube channel. So I forgot I turned it off for that stream. And then I was downstairs and I'm like, why is there no sound coming out? Sorry about that. It's the visuals that count with the Albie highlight. Past 3 hours? Not today. We got started late. Keith will be gravely disappointed in us. I'm sorry to say. You know, speaking of which, let's just tie on one of these Mustad O'Shaughnessy's. Nice big heavy hook. Let's just tie like a random... We'll kind of use this... the style of the Adachi Clouser, and we'll just tie like a larger fly with it. Get some tunes going. That was like a rookie move, man. Muted music on the highlight. Rookie move. All right. I still have not eaten dinner yet. We were filming that battle report for like 4 hours. I like quickly munched on a couple French fries downstairs, but I do need to eat after the stream, so. But hey, you know, when you got multiple YouTube channels, you end up running around with like a head without a chicken without a head, something like that. All right, flash tail to start off with. And I'm sticking with Magnum Silver. I like it. And now I gotta, that's the other thing I like. So it's been 2 or 3 days since the last fly time video. I gotta start filming the next one. So it's like, it never ends. And I gotta start editing the game from today that we filmed. I have my battle reports. I'm gonna try and have them come out every Wednesday, and then the fly tying. I'm trying to do like 1 to 2 videos a week, depending on the length. But like Sunday is a good day for fly tying videos, and maybe another day. But I don't have like a set day for fly tying videos because I try to do them like every 4 or 5 days, so it ends up not being like a once a week thing, so it's not like every Sunday anyway, but we'll see. If we end up getting a long fly time or a longer video that takes a while, that's one thing, but could have made the flash tail a little longer, but that's fine. I have some like gray. Let's use some gray because I'm running low on white. Yeah, it actually kind of worked out to be a good length with the flash tail. So let's go ahead and we could take a little bit of this, put this on the belly. I guess this could be the top. We'll just move slightly forward. I'm going to try and keep this sparse. Now, essentially, without the dumbbell eyes and turned upside up, now we're tying a Adachi Slammer / Magnum bait fish, but with a flash tail. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of flies are very similar. More so the techniques. If you learn a handful of techniques, you could tie thousands of flies. You don't need to learn thousands of flies. You just need to learn a handful of techniques, which is nice. Very nice thing about saltwater, or just fly tying in general. I guess the same goes for freshwater. But there is kind of, obviously, if you get into real deep freshwater stuff, you can, there's like probably hundreds of techniques you could do and with certain materials and old school stuff. And we're kind of just going to be building up like our 3D profile, but more so top and bottom as well. And I think we'll go mostly grayish, or gray. And start adding some color on the top here soon. And again, trying to keep it sparse. Sparse is key. So like, if you think you have enough material, take a little out with these sort of flies. At least is how my brain works with this stuff. Very easy to add too much. Like, you see how little we're adding, and you're going to see how much it's going to add up by the time we're done. I think that's something in general, if you're trying to, like, after you get past the initial stages of beginner fly tying, and you're working on, like, the next step, it's like trying to get the proportions down properly to get the flies to start performing better. Not only, like, swimming better and stuff, or turning over and all that, but getting a more accurate representation of what the bait fish looks like in the water, because they are translucent, right, with the way the water reflects off their scales and stuff and this and that. So you having some translucency, so like not having too much material. Also, you just don't want to waste material on a fly if you don't need it, right? We should start scaling down the length now, though, particularly on the belly. The belly we're going to start making much shorter as we keep moving up and V-tying. Okay. So what we can do now is take some, I actually have some shorter hair, so let me grab some of the shorter stuff from when I was doing kinky muddlers. And again, you can see, move forward. Take a small pinch, shorter length this time. 50-50 it, kind of right in the middle there, offset. And yeah, we can add some color now, why not? You could argue this could be just one more white tie, but I'm just going to add a bunch of colors. Now we'll do one more, because let's see. In front of this, we have what, realistically? No, okay, we'll add some color now. You gotta plan ahead and think about how much room you actually have left on the hook shank as well. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave the material longer up top, though. So we get that nice bunker profile-ish shape. Again, this is a quite a large hook. We're not tying a 12-inch fly with this material, so this hook will be more than heavy enough to keel it. And again, we are trying to keep it sparse as well, because you can see even right now we're kind of building that profile up, right? But once we get to like here, you're going to see that it's going to, it does add up quite quickly. So now we'll take some more for the belly. And I think what I'll do is just make it even shorter, pull on the ends a little bit, retaper it. Move forward just a little bit. I'm kind of going for like in between, like bunker, kind of herring, a little bit, not super tall, but you know, kind of generic medium body bait fish shape, if you will. So we went with fluorescent yellow. And now we want to go with a brighter chartreuse. This is where I think I'll cut this and retaper. Something like this. Oh, I got something fun we could do. Let's try out some of this polar, or no, what the hell is the name of this stuff? Fluorofiber. I don't want to use too much of it because I bought it specifically to use in the Magnum baitfish video, which I have to film at some point here. We're essentially tying like a pseudo Magnum baitfish right now. Because the slammer, well, we didn't put a keel on it either, yada, yada, yada. But again, this is like a much smaller fly than we would normally tie it. Now I kind of wish I left that lawner. You know what? I'm taking it back. I don't like it. I do want that lawner green in there. Don't be afraid to wrap back, too, especially on a fly like this. Very easy to just be like, all right, let's change it. Simple enough. Oh. I'm just going to actually keep it somewhat long. I am going to cut this shorter, though, because I don't need it to be this long. And we could just pull on the ends to retaper it. If I want to, I can always take a little bit of this shorter stuff and put that on top. Like so. And then you can kind of pull on it a little. Where's my brush at? Let's brush it a little. Yeah, honestly, if we get a 2-hour stream in today, I'll be happy because my back is already starting to just even sitting here filming that damn game. That was my bad. I thought I could get away with it filming this, about like having my buddy come over, set the table up, we do all the filming, we had to get done by time, and then we were cleaning it up. It's like 7 something. I'm like, damn it. We may need to do another stream before next Friday to make up for a shorter stream today. We'll see. Maybe like a little weekend action, or maybe a little midweek fly tying stream for you folks. What color are we adding now? Yeah, maybe I should have done another white one, huh? Looks like I do have room. That's okay. Or another gray collar, I should say. Looks like I actually had some room to, because I'm keeping the collars pretty close in between, I suppose. In reality. But, you know, we'll just tie even more ties, but we'll just keep them sparse. That works. But just for the color grading, moving along, kind of wish I had one more white. But I guess that means we're just going to have to start moving into darker colors and slowly darker, darker, darker. Let's go with tan. Because what would be next? Would it be olive or would it be tan? No, I guess it would be olive. And then we go tan, maybe? Just start mixing all sorts of colors here. I'm going to cut this, but now I feel like I cut it too short, so we have to retaper. Is this long enough? You know what? We could always take a little bit at full length and mix it in with the shorter stuff that we just cut, like we did before. That will just increase the length of the material overall. So now we can, again, keep it pretty sparse, hopefully. What we got? Well, yeah, we got like one more tie, I guess. So it does, I think we did get the distance right between our ties for our color grading. Our color, I guess, is color grading the right word? How we're talking, yeah, the gradient. And we're moving from like the lighter to darker color up top. I guess color grading is maybe a different term, but it's like I'm talking about like film making or something. color grading the film or the footage. Maybe the color gradient. What would be the what's the term I should use for talking about this ascending color pattern? Do we have any art majors in the chat? Okay. We can also actually have some of this material kind of spread around a little bit as well at this point. We were kind of keeping it more top, and you know, I didn't want it two side. The hue or the chroma, yeah, that's probably a better way of describing it, something like that. The chroma key. Green screening up my flies. So let's go ahead and at this point we're significantly shortening the length on the belly. So we're gonna go like this. And okay, I think now at this point we really only have room for like one or two more ties, or for like one more tie in front of this possibly. So I'm gonna do something where we go, I think we go blue now and then we go black. I'm just gonna go tan. I'm going tan. I remember seeing some old school fly patterns in Saltwater Fly Fishing magazine where it was like tan over the chartreuse, and I was always like, why has that not been a color thing I do more often? So I'm trying this color profile out where it's like a brownish color over like a greenish color, which when you tie it on the vite and when you tie it on the hook, it actually does kind of make sense. You're like, no, that actually kind of looks right, especially for like roosterfish flies. I feel like this is a nice coloration, but I might need to tie some for the roosterfish guys. Say, try these out. Try this color out. I got a hunch. This kind of looks like a sardina to me. Now, if I didn't keep this sparse, we'd probably have a hard time getting this to keel properly, even with this big O'Shaughnessy. But because I did keep it sparse, this hook should have no problem. And I guess we just go with some black on top, a little white on the belly. And we're good to go. We'll glue some eyes on here. We'll go ahead. Yeah, let's go with some like black here, I think. We could mix black and blue. That is something actually. Maybe we do that. Nah, we just go with black, I think. Scale that. Get that. Looking good. And now we can go ahead and V-tie this. By the way, if you folks have anything you want me to look at in the Discord, any flies, we're going to do that when we start wrapping things up. Excuse me. I should have muted myself. It's my once per week burp, or once per month burp on stream. So if you do want to post something in the chat or in Discord, do that, because we'll take a look here probably in a little bit. Well, I have a ton more Steve Farrar and Slinky Fiber to blend. I need to write that down. Because this material is great, and we're definitely going to be filming some flies with this stuff soon, so definitely need more. Oh, I didn't use the freaking... I forgot. The fluorofiber? That's right, we'll save it. We'll save it for a nice, properly keeled, big hook. Chunky mama. But yeah, that fluorofiber, man, that's where it's at. I will say, I kind of was hoping it would be a larger pack. So, they don't really give you much of it. I'm just trimming some of these like scragglers. These loosies. Without really kind of digging in too much, because you'll start screwing with the shape, all this stuff. Alright, I'm just going to leave that. Never mind, I'm trimming it again. Okay, I might need new fiskars, or I might need to sharpen these, because they definitely are getting a little bit duller now. At this point in their tour, their service. They've been on the trenches for quite a while now, on the front line, without any respite. Total Noob Fishing, what's going on? Hey, what's up? Mike rolled dice. Just join the chat. Hey, what's going on? Well, technically, I'm Li Fly's Mike now, but what's going on? How's it going? On other nights, we are Mike rolls dice. On Twitch, we're always Li Fly's Mike, but on YouTube, we switch personas depending on what channel we're streaming on. But I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. We're gonna glue some eyes on these suckers, on this sucker. It's not plural flies. So these guys are getting annoying, so I'm just gonna, let's get them out of here. See ya. There's always like one more that pops up. Like, damn it. Keep the shape. I like the song. This one's good. All right. Whew, I'm getting hungry, not gonna lie. Let's see what sort of eyes we got for these. You know, I have the ones we always use, but I gotta get something slightly larger, I feel like. Oh, do I? Hold. I thought I bought, and they're in this bag, and I just keep forgetting that they're in this bag, but I do have some larger eyes. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. I could have swore I bought like a new pack of 3D stick-on eyes. Well, we have these. They aren't the same thing I'm looking for. Is it in here? No. I know I have them. Where they are, God only knows. I'm gonna have to go through and like reorganize my whole desk again here soon. I slowly just, material just ends up migrating into other bins, and then it just gets all mixed up. And it's like a constant, like once every month I have to reorganize all my material, essentially. That's how it works. It just migrates. It's a natural migration. Alright. Yeah, these aren't even technically 3D eyes. These are hologram eyes, but they will work. And I always liquid fusion over now, so it doesn't really matter. This fly could be way better. I could have done the profile better. I think I shouldn't have shortened out the belly material so much. That's my real biggest grievance with this tie, because I had to trim that belly material. It's like we have like, if I left it a little bit longer, like this long, we wouldn't have that like rogue 1 or 2 hairs there, but that's just nitpicking. It's like, Is a striped bass going to see that? No, of course not. This is just the being anal as a fly tire. We all know fly tires love anal, so. Alright. It was too good. I had to say it. I had to line it up. I lined it up. I had to do it. Alright. Put some glue on here for the eyes. Yada, yada, yada. Copious amount. Not enough to squeeze out because then it'll be a pain, but you want enough to fully cover the backside of the eye. Otherwise, it's not going to adhere properly. We want these eyes to be lined up, so take this, push it back, and I keep playing the last song in this playlist, and then it shuts off. Let's go up. Hit something random. You really want to squeeze that eye on there because it's going to push that E6000 into the synthetic, down into the like hook shank, and it's going to just make it that much more durable. It's funny though, once you glue the eyes on this, these flies look just like so much better. You don't need the eyes too, like you're going to catch just as many fish without the eye, but for us, once you put the eye on, it just like completely changes the look of the fly, you know what I mean? It's just so funny. It has to do with how our human brains work and how we can, like, eyes are so like we see eyes very easily. Like if you're hiding somewhere and you don't want somebody to see you, you keep your head down and stuff because like the human face is so so recognizable in its shape. Like we've been trained to see it. Like I was watching stuff, like how they were talking about like hiding from freaking FPVs in Ukraine or something. And the human eye can spot like a human like profile or shape so easy. So you have to break it up. But particularly like you don't want to look up. It's so easy to recognize like a human face or like eyes and stuff. So it's got to be something like that with us. Where once you put eyes on a fly, it becomes much more recognizable to our human brains, to our like monkey brains, you know? To where it's like, I don't know. It's got to be something that goes on there. You gotta admit, once you put the eye on it, like completely changes the fly almost. But again, the fish don't care. I really don't think a striped bass, like Zeke could be fishing one without an eye, and I could be fishing one with an eye, and I guarantee it won't make a difference on the boat. Personally, but it does something to us. And this is what I always say. The reason why you put an eye on the fly, even if maybe LI Flies Mike says the striped bass don't care, is that because you as a fly tyer and as a fly fisher, if it makes you more confident, then you should do it. Because the last thing you want to do is constantly change your fly every 15 seconds. Make five, you know, you're standing somewhere just blind casting on a bank or on a, you know, in a bay somewhere on a cove, and you make 5 casts and you're like, oh, they didn't eat this one. So you tie on a new fly. Like that's like the worst thing you could do a lot of times. It's maybe a little different at times if there's like blitzing albies everywhere and your buddy's hooking them every cast and you're doing the same exact thing and you're not, that might be different. But when you're just fishing as is, like it's very easy to be like, oh, let me switch flies, let me switch flies, let me switch flies. And that's a habit that you want to get out of for sure. When you're just out there like blind casting, if you're fishing a piece of structure and you're marking fish with a boat and you know they're like feeding, that's like one thing, right? But for what a lot of us will be doing, we'll just be out there, you know, fishing somewhere and just working your way down a shoreline or something. You know, it's definitely good to give a fly a chance. And generally when you pull a fly out of the box, you're confident for a reason. But yeah, it's something that I've fished with a lot of like newer fly fishers over the years, and they're like, what fly are you using, what fly are you using, what fly are you using? I'm like, just put something on this size, and like I'm using this color if you want or whatever. Here, I'll have to give them one, But a lot of it's like the presentation and how you're presenting the fly and stuff like that, as opposed to what fly exactly are you using. Because I could be fishing a fly like this and somebody could fishing this fly, two vastly different sizes, right? But it comes down to it. If we're both like swinging this fly over this bar in the right way, they probably will eat both of these flies. You know what I mean? It's one thing if they're targeting and keyed in on this specific size bait, right? But there's a good chance it really comes down to how you're presenting the fly, as opposed to whether it's a 6-inch bunker pattern or a Clouser fly like this or something, right? So, all right. Let's take a look at the Discord. Oh, yeah, we'll take a look at the Discord. We'll let the glue somewhat dry, and then we could apply some liquid fusion. How about that? We gotta like let this dry for a little bit. All right, let's take a look. So yeah, if you haven't, the green Diablo crab fly, we'll just take a quick little peek here. Gotta watch ads on my own channel. Unbelievable. But this fly right here, the Diablo crab fly, definitely check it out. Interesting crab fly. And again, this is from one of like the best sight fishing for striped bass experts in the world. This pattern developed by Alan. So it goes to show that like you don't need modern day flexo crabs to like be a successful flats fisherman. There's a reason why these feather crabs and stuff do so good, because they breathe in the water. So very cool though. And check out Alan's website, Alan Kealo or Kaleo. I still can't pronounce his name properly. I'm gonna have to talk to him on the phone one day and be like, how the you say your name? Because I have a very hard to pronounce last name as well, and I've had people mispronounce it over the years, over and over and over again, which is so funny. But yeah, very cool crab fly. I highly recommend checking it out. Synthetic videos too. If you're looking for some different flies to tie, I know we had some people asking about it. If you haven't, watch the hour-long, it's an hour and 6 minutes, going over all different synthetics, the different flies you can use, the different techniques and all that. I'm going to try and do like once a month. I'm going to try and do a video like this, or like once, maybe once every 2 months or in between. Because a video like this, like, honestly takes like a week or two to make in reality. But we're definitely going to be doing more of these style videos mixed in with just regular fly tying and fishing videos here in the near future. But I mean, look, we've done a bunch of different stuff, dude. We got to revisit Easy Body. We have the squid tentacles, so I just need to get the right hooks. Maybe that'll be what we do here soon, is the Easy Body squid. I don't know. I have to see. But I'll actually, so there's like a list of stuff I got to do. Let me see real quick. Hold on. There's no like, I'm not going to dox myself. No, okay. So this is like my notepad thing I use, but flies that I need to tie still, we have Cowan's Magnum Baitfish. We have the Easy Squid. And then we have the Adachi Clouser. So we got these three at minimum to tie up. But we got a lot of stuff to do here. Yeah, it was alright, I guess. Crab fly police, we know, have very specific tastes when it comes to crabs and crab flies. I think we did. Did we see most of these? I think we did. But again, shout out to Slim Thunder and the Redhead for catching some big catfish. Hell yeah, dude. Oh yeah, we saw a doc posting some sea trout too. Dude, look at that sea trout, man. That looks like a salmon, right? Shout out to Doc providing Irish fly fishers with some high quality tide flies. Okay, yeah, there was some stuff that we haven't seen from the last stream. I forgot. So we did see these. Watch out, crab fly police. But we got Ackman with some crabs. Looking good. As well as some nice looking half and halves and stuff. A lot of squimpish hair, by the way, which we love. We got Doc. Very nice. We saw these last time, but I had to show them again because they look sick. I like the fuzzy bits off this. I got to start doing this more with crabs. Like their feelers and all their bristly mouth feelers they got. Craggerol tying some like muddlers with laser dub heads, I think, or something. Very cool. Or like just like a muddler, not like a kinky muddler, but very nice. Very nice. He said, I use Trigger Point EP fibers on the Mini. They are super springy and soft. I've never heard of that. Trigger Point EP? Is that like the color blend? It must be a specific EP material I haven't used before. Oh, I saw this, but I didn't get to see it on my big screen. We'll get to it in a sec. We got Khan here. They call this the salmon, or the king slayer, so I'm assuming the king salmon slayer. But a lot of like tube fly tying sort of stuff, which we love. You got your shank, so it's like a shank fly. So this is the shank. It's got either monofilament or wire looped, and then you can change out your stinger hooks out the back. I do like the rubber legs, though. I haven't seen rubber legs like that for a salmon fly, so that's pretty cool. Yo, Jim, what's going on, dude? How's it going, man? How's Jersey treating you? You cold over there? You staying warm enough? Yeah, so this is a spot. This is what they have down in like Maryland and Virginia. And they make a noise. They go like they like make like a croak noise or like a it's hard to say. It's like they make this audible noise when they're in stress out of the water, and I think it's the same thing when you hook them and use them as bait and stick them in the water. But it's very popular now up here on Long Island. They started bringing up these because you can find these randomly up here, but it's not like they're up here. So they'll net them down in the Chesapeake or like Maryland somewhere, or Virginia, South Carolina, because they're kind of like, imagine if it's like a school of bunker, but it would be like this, a school of spot. And then they live them for stripers, and they do really good. So Zeke imitating that, very nice. And it looks like a mix. Yeah, it looks like squimpish hair, and it looks like some bucktail too. It looks like a mix of bucktail and squimpish hair, and it looks great. I love it. Looking good, man. Because you could see you really went for that wide profile. You know what I mean? But yeah, these are really cool fish. They're called spots. I don't know the official name. I think it's a type of like a croaker or like a... I think they're a type of drum species or something like that. I could be wrong. But they're essentially like a bait fish. Very cool fish though, by the way. But they make this noise. They literally like make a grunt when they're hooked or something like that. So the striped bass just eat these things up like there's no tomorrow. And people are catching massive striped bass as well. So I don't know, maybe put like a rattle on it or something, Zeke. You know, I don't know. Here we go. Okay, so here's the Trevally candies. And these are from Traveler Flies here on YouTube, who also live streams. You can check out some live streams he does. Very nice. A lot of like synthetics. Yeah, see, that's the thing. There's something you got to think about is there's reef fish. Like, I'm sure there's traditional looking bait fish down in Hawaii and off the Philippines and stuff, right? There's probably spearing and stuff, silverside looking type fish, but there's also like reef fish. So they could be like, you know, like a Bergal type fish that's got black and red or yellows and greens. So there's a reason why, like, you see these sort of colors could be popular at times. These are more like traditional bait fish colors we would use in the Northeast here as well, right? Mackerel-ish looking, kind of bunker-ish, almost like sand eel style, right? But obviously that'll work down there too. A little squid action. I do like this. Let me go back to this. This is pretty sick. The blending of colors is why it really makes it a squid. And yeah, kind of like what we just tied almost. Kind of like synthetic half and half styles. Okay, cool. Very nice. I did want to point this out, by the way. This band right here. I'm not going to play it because we'll get demonetized. Rondo Veneziano and La Serenissima or something like that. This freaking song and this band is sick. They're like a classical music band from the 80s, but they also kind of mixed in like 80s style-ish. But I'm telling you, this song right here, you got to check this out in the Discord, dude. This song right here, I've been jamming out to this song. It is beautiful. It's so good. It makes me want to pick up my guitar and like solo to it. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na. And they're all like dressed up as robots, but they're like playing, but it's like a classical band. They're playing like violins and like cellos and flutes and stuff, but the music is so good. They have some really good music. And this other band, this I believe is a French band. I don't know if they're like Italian or they're French from the 80s, but this is a modern day band. And it's Agni de and I used to speak French. There's no way I'm gonna say this right. Agni de Poitrine or something. And this band, dude, this makes me want to play guitar again, like 100%. This guy, there's a drummer, and there's a dude that plays guitar, and he plays guitar and bass, but he's got a double neck with a bass and a guitar, and all he does is like loop. So he'll be looping. What do you call it? He'll be looping the songs and stuff. So YouTube bullied my recommendations until I finally watched. It must have like went somewhat viral-ish or something. Because you know what happens? You listen to music for a couple songs on YouTube, and next thing you know, YouTube's recommending like crazy music to you. Your algorithm will completely change by watching like 3 music videos in a row on YouTube. But I highly recommend checking these guys out. This band is phenomenal. Like absolutely, and it's like such a funky style of music that is so good that makes me just want to pick up guitar again. So good. But we have people posting randomly all the time, different songs and stuff here, but I try to keep up with it too and post when I find something on YouTube, because I'll randomly find cool stuff all the time. But I'd say this right here, this band is amazing. This song though, this song is a jam. I'm gonna have to listen to this later. No, YouTube has fantastic music recommendations. I gotta say, YouTube's algorithm's pretty good for the most part. It caters to what you want to watch really good. Yep. All right. All caught up on Discord. Yep, check them out, dude. I'm gonna put on that one song once I finish the stream because I have to clean my entire room. My table that I keep all my miniature stuff on, we clear off when we play Battle Report, so like everything's sitting on my bed, so I have to re-put everything organized on my table again. So I have to do that when the stream's done, but I'll put on that music and I'll loop it, and it's gonna take me like 30 minutes, but I just have to put everything away in my room. Okay, let's glue the eyes up here. Shall we? Let's get some music going too. Or we have music going, I just muted it, huh? Cool. Yeah, check them out, man. YouTube's got some bangers. YouTube has some bangers. Part of me like, I think the only like paid subscription that I'm paying for like a service is Epidemic Sound, what we're listening to right now, which I may even get rid of in the future, but what do you call it? I really, I'm like, part of me wants to get YouTube Premium just to like not have to deal with ads anymore and all that. I'm not an ad block user. I know ad block. So many people are like, who watches ads anymore? But I've never used ad block, never messed with it, and I don't mind necessarily potentially getting YouTube Premium because it also the creators of videos you watch, they get paid like normal ad revenue, or they might even get paid more from YouTube Premium viewers. But I'm tempted, dude, because YouTube Premium does like pretty much everything. You got music. They have their music app essentially, and I pretty much only listen to music on YouTube now. It's so funny. I don't have a cable box. I pretty much only watch YouTube in general. And most streams that I watch, they multi-stream on YouTube now. So it's like very tempting to get YouTube Premium just so I don't have to deal with ads and support the creators I watch more. I'm like, I'm tempted, but I don't want to pay another freaking, what is it, $15 a month, whatever it is. There's also like Twitch Turbo too, right? If you watch Twitch a lot, you could get that. You never have to watch ads again and stuff. I never watched a million channels on Twitch. Like I would only watch like specific people, so I wasn't too worried about it. Because if I watch them enough, I would sub. But I really don't watch Twitch that much anymore nowadays, because most of the streams that I watch do multi-stream. So, which is nice, because I just prefer watching on YouTube now. I think it's just it's become my preferred platform for watching streams. Have you heard of Stephen Wilson Jr.? He was on Howard last week. Awesome. Never heard of him? No, I haven't. No. He's a musician, or? Clean your room, bucko. Jordan Benzo Peterson. What? Is that the same Jordan Peterson? The one that's like, oh, you see what the deal? Or whatever, that guy that they everyone memes on? Is that his middle name? Or are you talking about Jeff Bezos's deranged uncle, Jordan Benzo Peterson? I love I think I saw somebody make a video like with Jordan Peterson's voice, but they did something. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was like something random. It was about like freaking like Yu-Gi-Oh. It was just something dumb, but they were just speaking. Oh, I think it was Arc Raiders. Some dude did a video where he was playing Arc Raiders as Jordan Peterson or something, but he did the voice so good. I was like, oh my god. Musician? Okay. I'll have to take a look then. Yeah, post one of his songs in the music section of the Discord. I'm always down. I try and check out some of the suggestions you guys post, because there's a whole wide world of music out there to watch for sure. Just let that liquid fusion kind of spread around a little bit. It's going to dry slowly, do its thing. Yeah, before I put the eyes on there, I was like, man, I don't know if I got the profile right. But once you put the eyes on there, it's all right. It's still, I wouldn't get. You know what? If I rated this fly, how good I did, I'd give it a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, that's good. Like, that's gonna fish. That's gonna do great. Where 10 out of 10 is like Jimi Hendrix comes down from the stars, hands you a golden Stratocaster, and takes your fly away to be filmed for the cover of Flytime magazine, where they then will forever only show your fly on the cover of the magazine. That's like a 10 out of 10, right? It's almost like impossible. But I'm just, oh yeah, okay, I gotcha. Well, you're on the internet. That's what it's there for, to be an asshole, right? It's funny too. We were like talking. I was talking to another YouTuber who makes battle report channels, Tabletop Command Post. You should check him out if you like Bolt Action or Conflict 47. But he was like, man, I have people that accuse us of cheating in our battle reports, and it's just so funny. Like, any content I've ever made on the internet, people will just always find some way to like talk shit or like find a way to be like, God, this guy's ugly, or like the most fucked up shit. So that is, sir, that is your job, to be an asshole on the internet. That's what it's become nowadays. You ain't doing it right. It's just so funny. I gotta say, I'm very lucky. We've had like nothing but positive comments on like the Flytime channel, Li Flies Mike, and Mike Rolls Dice in particular. I'd say I've had more, probably because I've just made more videos and I've had more like people watch on my Flytime channel. I've had a ton of people like get pissed off at me and stuff over flies. Some dude was like, I was saying how it was the Clouser minnow. He goes, if you ain't gonna say Bob Clouser's name, then you better shut the F up, brother, or don't even say it. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I love Bob Clouser. Like, he was so pissed that I didn't say Bob Clouser or Bob Clouser's Clouser minnow instead of just saying the Clouser minnow or something like that. I forgot what it was, but or the Deceiver or so. Somebody who said got so pissed off at me about it. I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out. So I think we got to realize though, like somebody like there's probably people that just like were like working, they come home from work, they turn on YouTube, and the first video they turn on, they're like, "Fuck this guy, asshole." You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I think that's just what it is, right? I'm sure that's the guy's a nice guy, but he's like, "This guy, fuck this guy. He didn't say Lefty Cray's name," and he's just like writing like a all caps yelling comment like, "I hope you die." Like, jeez, bro, calm down, bro. Luckily you become immune to that, especially streaming. Like, there was nothing worse than, or there's nothing better than having like one viewer and having like random kids come into your stream and like troll you and stuff like that. So I pretty much from like day one with streaming, I had to deal with stuff like that. And then they just leave if you don't respond to them, right? So it doesn't matter. They leave. But that, like, prepared me for all the random YouTube hate from, like, schizophrenic comments I get and stuff like that. To where I'm like, no, it's fine. The majority, 99.9% of people like the video. One guy is, like, probably high on methamphetamines in the woods somewhere watching my video. And he's like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good. It's all good. I'm back. I asked how long you've been tying flies. Do you tie any tiny flies? The smallest stuff I tie is like size 8. Maybe like a fly that big. Like a little bonefish fly. But no, I don't tie trout. Like tiny little trout flies. So I'm a saltwater guy. I can do it. That's not my forte though. Or like my expertise. You know what I mean? So. Alright, chat. Well, I managed to milk another 5 minutes. I thought I ranted for like 20 minutes there, but that was like another 5 minutes. So that being said, normally we'd try to stream for close. I'll say it again. Close to 3 hours. All right, Keith? I get it. I get it, Keith. All right. That being said, we started pretty late tonight, and I have not eaten dinner, so I'm going to wrap things up. Heat up some food, eat some dinner. I'm going to download all the footage from the battle report earlier today and, start compiling all that and start thinking about what's the next video we're going to be having here on Li Flies Mike. So more than likely, it's probably going to be this right here. Maybe with a pearl flash tail in different colors and a little less material. But I'm thinking we're going to do an Adachi Clouser. So that'll probably be the next video, which will probably be getting filmed like tomorrow and be coming out Sunday or Monday. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so that'll be coming up soon. And then we have some other patterns. We're going to be doing some more streams as well. Maybe we'll do a little makeup stream in between Friday, you know, another short stream. Any music streams coming up? Look, probably not. But I'm thinking about potentially making some music in the future, particularly for my second channel, Mike Rolls Dice. Because there's a good chance I might try and make like cinematic little short, like almost like story videos that have to do with the battle reports. And I was telling my dad we should like record some music soon. That being said, I don't know about live music. Maybe one day, but not at the moment. My room's not set up for it either. I have like no room for it. But yeah. In the future, at some point, maybe we'll do some troll music streams again. But I have clips for days. Yeah, those were the days. But I'm good on embarrassing myself on the internet for a while. I need to make money on the internet so I can pay my bills. So that's why we're working extra hard on YouTube. Mike Rolls Dice. Go subscribe to Mike Rolls Dice, all right? I'm getting them. I need like another 230 subscribers or something, but I will say we're gaining like 150 to 200 subs a month on that channel. So, but once I get to 1,000 subs, I'm getting ad revenue. We're getting closer to fixing the boat and all that jazz. Because I'm telling you right now, that channel is going to make way more money in ad revenue than LI Flies Mike. Because there's just, fly tying is so much of a smaller, potential viewing pool than other categories are on YouTube, you know? No, well, that's the thing. I need to have morals. Yeah, I'll post it in the chat right now for you guys. Hold on. Mike Rolls Dice. Go subscribe to it. Just to help me get even closer. We're monetized. We have members. Like, we have some members and all that. But we're trying to get to 1,000 subs to get ad revenue. And we're getting close. I will say, though, that that channel is going to end up being way bigger than my fly tying channel. I guarantee you. Why can't I go to my like videos? What's the deal here, dude? Hold on. Let me just type it here. Yeah, it should pop up nowadays, Mike Rolls Dice, because I think we're actually popular enough in the category that we make videos that it should. I'll just put in the most recent video. How about that? Most recent videos here.
Anti-tank.
And I'll share this in the chat for you guys. All right, chat. Well, thank you so much. Yo, Jim. And thank you for the resub, brother. Much, much appreciated. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. By the way, I've had requests. I don't know where the hell I would do it. Maybe if I posted it, I would unlist it. And then you guys could watch it. But I may post the... I've had my dad ask me, multiple people. Also, now on Mike Rolls Dice, I showed them the Halloween music video. So they're all like, oh, they like want to watch it and shit. So now I may post the Halloween music video somewhere on YouTube. But like unlist it. I don't want to post it on my main YouTube channel for everyone to see. Because first off, it'll mess with my analytics. Second off, half the people will unsubscribe. So, but I may like put it up somewhere for you guys to go watch. Because I've had multiple people ask me like, yo, where can I go watch that? Or something like that. So we'll see. Maybe in the future, I might try and get that set up. But thank you, Jim. I appreciate that, my friend. That ain't gonna bring in the numbers. That's the sort of weird shit that people like watching on stream. I like showed my, we were painting minis on Mike Rolls Dice YouTube. And they were like, I'm like, you guys want to watch this dumb video that we made for Halloween? They're like, yeah, sure. And then they were like, oh my God, we're gonna have other streamers play it on their stream. We're gonna pay them. I'm like, oh my God, for the love of God, please don't do this shit, guys. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna ruin me. But good times, good times. But thank you again, Jim. Much appreciated, my friend. Jim coming in with the resub, 42 months. Again, round of applause, chat. Nope. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to everybody watching, chat. I hope you folks had an awesome night. You have an awesome weekend. Sorry for a little bit shorter stream. I know. 2 hours and 20 minutes. It ain't 3 hours. I know. Unbelievable. Somebody call Keith. Get him on the hotline. Keith was right all along. Keith's never watching the stream again. I hope Keith's watching right now. You're gonna become the legend of the stream. You're like the next Jerry. Like, you're not the next Jerry, but you're like a Jerry. Not as high up on the echelon of Laura's Jerry, but now Keith has been added to the name of random names in the stream that I'm just gonna randomly talk about every time. So congratulations, Keith, for being added to the board. And thank you so much, chat, for hanging out. Doc, Zeke, Jim, everybody watching, CBL, Shinobi, Neves, thank you so much. Chat, you take it easy. You have a great weekend. And yeah, we'll see you again next Friday. Maybe we'll do another stream here in the meanwhile, in between. But I think we're going to have like a couple fly time videos in the meanwhile. So we'll see. But But thank you so much for watching, chat. And what do you call it? I'll be in the Discord, so we'll see you. Hey, Mall Dropper. You have a good night and good luck with those googly eyes, right? Like Jerry, but no access to empanadas. Exactly. All right, chat. I'm heading out. I'm gonna go eat some food. All right.